I have friends who believe Christianity is anti-intellectual. How would you respond to this criticism?
There is a grain of truth arising out of Christian sin. So I would want to say, I see why you think that, given what you might often hear from Christians when you turn on the TV. I don't know, Jim, if you've read historian Mark Knoll's book, The Scandal of the Evangelical Mind, where he says, the scandal of the evangelical mind is that there is not much of an evangelical mind. And calling out the fact that Christians have bought into this idea that Christianity is anti-intellectual for too long, and confused, as I say, the simplicity of the gospel and the need for a heart response with the idea that God doesn't want us to love us with all our heart and soul and mind and strength. It's very clear in the scriptures that he does. And if we look back over Christian history more broadly, we'll see that Christianity is the greatest intellectual movement of all time. We'll see that universities like Harvard and Yale and Oxford and Cambridge were founded specifically to bring glory to God. And we see some of the greatest philosophers and historians and artists and poets and authors. I think of Jane Austen, incredible Christian intellectual. But often in people's minds, when people are that good, like when you're Jane Austen good, you sort of become common property, and I understand that. But let's be clear, Jane Austen was a profoundly serious believer in Jesus Christ. And so often we kind of miss the intellectual history of Christianity, partly because of what we see today, and partly because honestly we don't hear it. We don't hear it enough from people like you, Jim. The hundreds and thousands of Christian professors who God has raised up at leading secular universities around the world are the greatest untapped resource of the global church.